Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Maitri Limbachia, Assistant Professor in English, Center for Distance and Online Education, Gujarat University. I welcome you all to this lecture in which I will talk about one of the most prominent writers and one of the most pioneering figures of Indian English novels, Raja Rao. After that, we will discuss his novel Kanthapura, which forms an important part of our unit. Raja Rao was born in 1908 in Hassan, a small town in present-day Karnataka. He grew up in a traditional South Indian Brahmin household where religion, philosophy and classical learning formed a natural part of everyday life. Stories from the epics, temples, traditions, and oral storytelling shaped his imagination long before he encountered formal literary education. As he moved into higher studies, Raja Rao received a modern education and later traveled abroad, spending several years in Europe and the United States. Although much of his adult life was spent outside of India, his emotional and intellectual roots remained firmly grounded in Indian culture. Distance did not weaken this connection. Instead, it sharpened his awareness of what it meant to be Indian while writing in non-Indian language. Raja Rao's writing emerges from this position between cultures, languages, and traditions. He was deeply conscious of the fact that English, though widely used in India, carried its own historical and cultural weight. Rather than treating English as a borrowed or imitative medium, he treated it as something that could be reshaped to suit Indian modes of thought, speech, and feeling. This belief strongly influences both the style and structure of his work. His literary career begins with Kanthapura, published in 1938, a novel that immediately established him as a significant voice in Indian writing in English. In this work, he brings together village life, the freedom movement, and a distinctly Indian narrative voice. Later, his writing moves towards more philosophical and spiritual concerns. Most notably in The Serpent and the Rope, showing a gradual shift from collective political experience to personal and metaphysical exploration. Yet, despite this evolution, Kanthapura remains central to Raja Rao's reputation. It is the novel through which his ideas about language, culture, and community are most powerfully expressed. And it continues to hold a key place in the study of Indian writing in English. Kanthapura is a novel set in a small village in South India. The village is quiet, traditional. Life here moves around temples, festivals, customs, and everyday routines. At the beginning of the novel, the village seems far away from national politics and the freedom movement. The story is told by Achakka, an old woman of the village. She speaks like a village storyteller. She does not tell the story in a strict or a formal way. Instead, she remembers events as they happened, mixing facts with feelings, beliefs, and memories. Because of this, the novel sounds like a story being spoken aloud rather than something written for the page. Slowly, change enters the village. Gandhian ideas reach Kanthapura through a young man named Murthy. These ideas do not come as long political speeches. They come as small changes in daily life, like wearing khadi, following discipline, standing together, and learning to resist injustice without violence. The freedom movement in Kanthapura is shown through ordinary people. Raja Rao does not focus on famous leaders or big political events. Instead, he shows how common villagers begin to understand freedom and take part in the struggle in their own way. The movement becomes part of their daily lives. As the story moves forward, we realize that the novel is not really about one particular main character. The most important presence in the novel is the village itself. The people of Kanthapura think, suffer, and act together. Their shared experience becomes the center of the story. The language of the novel also reflects this village life. The sentences are long and flowing like spoken speech. This style may feel unusual at first, but it helps the reader, it helps us feel the rhythm of the village storytelling. English in this novel sounds close to Indian speech and thought. In the end, Kanthapura shows us how the freedom movement reached the lives of ordinary people. It reminds us that India's struggle for independence was not only fought by leaders but also by villagers who stood together and faced hardship as a community. I thank you all for listening. See you in the next lecture very soon.